We know we need to get into that business. I mean, that's everything's transitioning from the print side into the services side. So that's the long-term play from what we see. And so we're trying to figure out how. We don't really have any idea, don't understand that business. We've been in the copier business a long time. So it's really more to learn some basic benchmarking, some information on what to look for and what to do and how to manage and how to sell the services, how to make money at it. It really was a learning experience for us to look at it and say, these are the types of accounts we need to call on, what customers what percentage of our customer base would be a qualified prospect, how to even down to pay people. So yeah, it was good information to get out. Yeah, they've been in that industry. Both came up on the Icon. So I think Mitch was in well before Icon got involved. So they understand that business model very well. Chris actually was on the copier side, so he understands how to the copier language and how to speak to people from the copier side. So it was a very good presentation. He does a good job. He spaced out over what you needed to go. Good questions, and if you had questions, you get answers coming back. So I think that they're gaining potential customers from our channel all the time to come in and help them do that, and they do a good job at it. There were maybe one or two that were already in doing some type of managed services, and the rest of them were looking at it. One was actually Supply Network, if I can say that. They were coming in to look at it and see, is there any way that they could have a business in that MS or managed services arena. So he was just kind of coming in and learning about it. And then you had the other gentleman that does the stuff on the mailing side, I think, was coming in to look at it. But yeah, so talking to the people that were already doing it, you're kind of getting some information on how they were doing it. They were comparing their numbers to their benchmarking numbers that they've been using to what Chris and Mitch are using, and so you get some good feedback and information coming out of that. Yeah, they had handouts. They actually had files that they sent to us at the end, so you had a recap of the whole presentation on there and some additional information from on the benchmarking side of it that they provided and sent back to us once the class was over. So it's it was an overview of it, then kind of an education of the terms and information, and then it looked at the sales side also. So how do you set up and how do you hire and how do you identify customers, how do you identify prospects, and then from there there was some actual modeling and scenarios of this is a managed network services company, and it has they have this many customers and this many seats, and this is their pricing structure, and here's what the margin is rolling through their business, and then a separate one that had a little bit better pricing, but a little bit better. So you could see how the different scenarios would play out, and kind of get an idea of how to understand it from our point of view, and compare it to what we model and benchmark to on the copier side. Really more how to, again, it goes back to the benchmarking side of it and how to understand that business model a little bit better, and to realize, what customer base or what prospects we need to talk to first. How do we need to set our salespeople up? But, if we sell it, what we should price it at, what our cost should be, because we had no idea, coming out of the copier industry to do that. Well, actually, as we get closer to it, I'll send 2 more of my people to it that are on the operations side. So we already made plans to do that once we get to that, because I want them to see that same information so they can help us manage it, just from a financial standpoint.